All right, everyone, I want you to start your shadow boxing right now. Go from rope to rope and just keep moving. Everyone away from me like I'm the plague. Dodge, change direction sharply. Go, change direction sharply. That's it, maneuver, keep maneuvering. Excellent. All right, then we are finished. Hello everyone, friends, boxers, and today we're going to show you an excellent shoulder defense. Watch, enjoy, and so guys, here's exactly what you need to know. First of all, the shoulder roll is actually one of the most difficult and complex defenses in boxing, primarily because it is a very specific form of protection. You can't just stick your shoulder out there with your body all by itself. You can easily get twisted around by a powerful punch. So your main task is, it is essential to position your shoulder correctly so you don't accidentally get hurt. So the very first exercise you need to learn is the art of slipping. You should completely fold your upper body over. You can already bring it all the way down to your legs to really get this specific movement going properly. Keep moving around the ring, swing your shoulders. Livelier with a hop. Or with a step. Livelier. Keep moving, keep moving. You can even sneak, as if you're sneaking somewhere. Now raise both of your hands up. They shouldn't come apart or move away from each other. This is an element, as if you're positioned under shields. The first thing you need to understand is that jerking your shoulder and leading with your shoulder are two different things. Since these punches are executed at such a high speed, you might feel the urge to immediately pull your shoulder back, but the correct first step to take when a punch is coming directly at you is to draw your shoulder inward toward your body in order to soften the impact and prepare your movement for the second part of the sequence. You can soften it with your leg, or you can soften it with your body. Your task is to learn to use your body. Eventually, everything will work together at the same time. Your legs, your body, and your shoulder. So get ready. As much as possible, as much as possible. Don't drop your shoulder down. On the contrary, just lift it up as high as you can. 1-1. Move everywhere. Keep moving everywhere, all around the ring. Sometimes, yes, you can rotate your shoulder a bit. Like this. Cover up. Finished. All right, guys, put your gloves on. The first thing you need to understand about shoulder defense is to what extent you use it. So this distance, this is the first thing you need to get used to. The striking range where your opponent can actually reach you. Because to defend with your shoulder, you always need contact. And this specific contact will help you interpret things correctly. This very defense is crucial because the more you practice and the more often you switch, using different directions, different angles, and different ways of bringing in the shoulder and attacking with the shoulder. There are even some options that are, well, just incredibly effective and versatile in this situation. These are already advanced tricks when you control your shoulder so well that you can actually block a punch with your shoulder and counter with your hand. In other words, this is already top-level skill when you can feel everything with your legs, your arms, and your whole body. And this defense becomes highly effective and dangerous because it does not necessarily require you to leave your striking distance. That is, you can confidently step in with your shoulder to strike. Either bring it in or pull it back somewhere in order to successfully deliver your powerful lead punch or your full combination of punches. So the very first fundamental technique you will learn is this. at what distance your opponent is located, so that you can use that distance. At the beginning, the very first step, you can do it before contact, so that you feel the contact specifically in your shoulder. Here's which part of your shoulder you shouldn't expose. You must not expose this part of your shoulder. In other words, God forbid you come out like this, or as some like to do, turning right, bam, your shoulder. That's it, goodbye. That will be a real mystery for the surgeons. So your primary task is to use your shoulder instead of your head. If a punch is coming directly toward your head, pull in tight so that the incoming punch just glances off. Or somehow deflect the punch to the side so that you can maintain your striking position. You can withstand it, and that's why it fits in very well. It fits right into this kind of slip defense, because the very first thing you do reflexively when you're scared is raise your shoulder. Now you really need to understand exactly how to do this effectively. So you slowly bring your hand up to your head, right up to your head, bring it all the way up, and here you start trying to carefully maneuver with your shoulder. There are several exercises, and now we'll start with the simplest ones. So the first exercise, you reach out and touch your shoulder. Slowly extend your hand toward your opponent and touch their shoulder. First one shoulder, and then the other. This exercise is entirely mutual. Again, I'm telling you, don't move your hands away yet. Let them stay right here. You don't need any special forms right now. You need to learn how to raise your shoulder. Get ready for this first contact. So, are you ready? Very slowly, first mode, slowly and calmly. Let's go now. Good, with more energy, guys, more energy. Lyoka, guide it calmly. There you go, more. The second one. Guide the second one. There. Guide it. You're pulling toward the head. Next. With one hand. For now, just with your left hand. You need to understand how to meet it correctly. That is, you don't just brace yourself with your shoulder like this and move toward him. In other words, injuring your own shoulder. But on the contrary, you simply cover with your shoulder and change his angle. Bend him down. Your task is already to aim for the strike, because it might happen that here you lift your shoulder just a bit. This is the beginning of the next movement, and for this movement, for this very movement, you already set up the combination. You can land such a powerful follow-up shot. So, in other words, just so you fully understand exactly what shoulder defense leads to, it inevitably leads to a very difficult strike or a complex combination. That is precisely why when you start to twist your shoulder, you are already aiming. Now, how can you effectively shoot from this specific angle? Maybe you can even lean over and go 100% to the body in some situations. Feel the strike and block it correctly. Look, if he hits you in the shoulder, well, it definitely won't be pleasant 100%. So take care of your shoulders. Are we done? All right, next, let's break it down slowly. This is a very important point. So look, right now, for example, I start, well, it doesn't matter if it's left or right, but you lift your shoulder and prepare an uppercut. So if I throw a punch at you, how are you going to strike back from here? Well, it's very difficult. That's why, yes, you adjust your foot for this as well. Align yourself so that this hand is loaded up. You understand? So that you can scoop from here. That's it. Once you're in this position, your punch goes right from here. So you extend your right, lead with your hand now. With your right, lead with your hand. See, you extend it like this? That's where the shoulder defense is. And from here, you start throwing the punch. Now it's coming from the hip. Wherever you want to land it, you can. So the point is, from this position, you're already ready for it. The defensive play, by the way, goes right into the open hand. Right here into my hand. Shoulder defense, good job. Slowly. Solid shoulder defense. Don't raise your hand. Your arm is pressed in like a shield. You'll let it through right here. One more time. Do you see that subtle movement? Now you need to rotate outward, using your shoulders, using your entire torso. Yes? One. Number one, look closely. The first movement sets you up, but with an uppercut from this position, you'll never be able to reach him. Let's try it once more and focus on the movement you're making. See, it's always there how close it is to him. So if you're here, then in any case, that's just not going to work for you. You need to get closer to him, and while defending, you take a step right in. So that one movement already leads you into the next. Do it slowly. That's it, turn around. There, the hand goes here, here. Yes, that's it, just up to the glove is enough. So when you've already entered this phase, yes, you start engaging your hips so it carries you into the strike. That's the twist, that's all there is to it. It seems difficult, but that's just how it looks. You just need to keep doing it over and over. Really put your shoulder in, right to the head, put it in, let it be better this way. It'll become a habit for you. Later, your arm will catch up too, and your arm will start to protect you as well. With your shoulder, you need to soften it somewhere. Somewhere, on the contrary, well, sometimes you just have to endure. Yes, you have to, no matter what. You'll take about 60% on your shoulders. Next, you'll have free movement now. We do it for about 10 seconds each time. So one other person will just keep throwing the ball endlessly. And you will just be extending your shoulders outward. This is the very first setup that you do. But you'll already start to suspect that if you're going this way, you can respond right away. You keep turning this over in your head, putting your shoulder forward. So, your first step is to learn to soften the movement using your legs. See, you stretch out, stronger. See, this is where distance starts to matter. The second point is that you start to angle your body in such a way that your arm just starts to ricochet. The third point is that you can disrupt with a shoulder movement. Strike. Already start moving out like you're aiming at him. Your task is not to lose your position. Keep it, because right after this movement there will be a counterattack. As soon as you disrupt, strike instantly. So there are no pauses at all. Throw it over the head. Be bolder. Switch. With your shoulder, with your shoulder. Forward with your shoulder. Hands, keep them up. Why watch your hands? You must not let them drop when you punch. Guys, this topic is very, very broad. A vast majority of boxing maneuvers are based on such a simple defense as using your shoulder. And that is the very first essential thing you really need to understand. That you defend yourself with your whole body. Your shoulders are an extension of your defensive dodges. It's an extension of your slips. And it's an inevitable part of your punches. So there's no point in just raising your shoulder for no reason. There's no such thing in boxing defense at all. All defenses inevitably lead you toward an attack. I will repeat it once more. To truly understand what body defense is, you first need to understand what distance is. Shoulder defense works remarkably well at a medium range, and it continues to work effectively at a long range too. Even when fighting at a close range, especially during those moments when your hands are down, you can skillfully use your shoulders to push or nudge your opponent away. In any case, you must truly know how to use your shoulders for protection and be careful to never expose them to incoming punches. It's foolish, just, I don't know. Shoulder defense, bam, bam. If you don't have strong shoulders, you simply can't do it. So remember this, because it's incredibly important to protect your shoulders just like your eyes or like all your other vital organs. Yeah. Please take good care of yourself. Well, until next time.